Hey y'all, Chelsea picked these this morning to dry, and the amaranth, look how beautiful. It is so pretty. I'm down at her house. Her daddy made chili and sent a quart down for her for supper. And while I'm here, I thought we'd walk up. Look at that patch of bright green. That's the cover crop, y'all. That is fabulous. Yes, Hugh said I planted it way too thick. Or I sowed it way too thick. And he's right, I did. But isn't it gorgeous? Let's take a walk up. You can see I want you to see how big that field is. That field is going to be large enough to plant literally thousands of woodies and peonies and whatever we put. This side will only have woodies and perennials on it. There won't be any annuals over here. But it is a very big field, and as you can see, we can go way on up. I don't want to get over here underneath of these trees because that really gets the morning shade up until, really about noon. Well, maybe not that late in the day, but pretty late in the day. Yesterday I put up 14 quarts of green beans, and Hugh said they will be ready to pick again about the middle of the week. So that will be nice. The peonies are looking actually pretty fabulous. I was down here earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this whole little piece of plastic. And I've got the little end caps just over top of the ends of this drip tape to keep it from getting in it during the winter. I don't know if we're going to need it. I think I'll probably just use the big water tub. Or actually I won't even have to do that because I can run a water hose from Chelsea's side faucet up here and water if I need to. We've had so much water that I don't really think we're going to have to depend on watering so much this winter. But the peonies are actually looking pretty good. There's a few that are kind of little nubs down in there. Some of these are tree peonies, and some of them are, can't remember the name of the other that she said. But anyway, there's two different types of peonies in here. Those two, they're in there, but they're just kind of hiding a little bit. But coming on up here, and some of them are beginning to actually die back for winter, and that's normal. So that's good too. And I don't know if I will put, a frost tunnel over top of them for winter. I certainly want to protect them this first go around. I think this black plastic will draw quite a bit of heat. I'm not going to cover it completely. I'm going to leave, portions of it exposed. And I've got to come and dig a shovel full of dirt and put up on the edge all the way down so that we don't have wind issues jerking it off and carrying it away. That would be terrible. But you can see what I've done is I've ran the drip tape up close to the plant itself, and then I've put a triangle of I can't even think of cardboard around the plant, because the holes that I cut were probably about 6-8 inches across around, and then I singed the edge, and I wanted to cover up some more of that hole, so I did it that way. That'll leave them lots of growing space over time, because this black plastic will not come up for hopefully years and years. you know, just be there to help keep the weeds down. And then I cut some holes like about 4 feet apart, and I've got to cut a bunch of them because this is mountain mint, and I have decided to go ahead and just set it out over here as it's doing its thing and really bushing out. I may use it as a cut flower for florists, and we will also probably take cuttings off of them. You can see how beautiful those are. Those are all cuttings that Chelsea took from my mountain mint across the road. And so just starting lots of mountain mint to sell as a plant. And then most of this in here is mountain mint. So these are, they got a little dry, so I took them out of their little cup and put them in here. These are hydrangeas. Over here we've got lots more mountain mint, and you can see how well it's doing. And there's a couple little blips of hydrangea in here that that's a different kind. And it's fine. Chelsea pulled it out a little while ago when we were over here earlier. It's got a nice root system on it. It's just time for it to die back. And she started it just with one leaf. That thing rooted just from one leaf. So hydrangeas, yeah, they're really, really happy. And then down here, these are also all hydrangea, except this one in the middle. This is stevia, and it's flowering. Look at that. I mean, that's sweet. We don't know yet whether it's a perennial or an annual, so I don't really know what to do with it. But anyway, let's take a walk up the side of this field of loveliness. Oh my goodness. That's probably up to, almost up to my knee. Yeah. And you can see the buckwheat is blooming. So we're going to get some nice buckwheat blooms before it goes away. And it will go away as soon as we get frost. And there's peas in there and oats in there. So I am very pleased with this, but it is probably way thicker than it needs to be. But that's good, because that will give us a lot of weed suppression this spring. I suspect that we will plant about 1/3 of this year. Whether we get the grant or not, we'll probably, you know, just suck it up and try to find some money. And I wonder if I got a groundhog digging in here. Something's digging in there. And go ahead and plant as many woodies as we can. Yeah. But this upper part of the field, it's looking pretty doggone good. I mean, it's growing the cover crop wonderfully. Hugh said he felt like this soil up here, or this dirt up here, not really so much soil yet, but this dirt up here was kind of really lacking in nutrition. So I would like to leave this upper end of the field just in a cover crop for possibly up to a year until I am ready to plant it. I'm not sure when the planting will happen, so we'll just keep it covered until it's ready to plant. See a little piece of glass. That was, look, that was at one point a little bottle. That's so funny. You find those sorts of things in these fields all the time when they get dug or plowed. But yeah, it's a really big field, y'all. It's just hard to tell because there's a rise right in the middle, so you can't see how much it goes up and then down. But this one little section right here, this one little area that's got the cover crop on it, I think I could safely say that it's at least 1/4 of an acre. I just wish you could see what I'm seeing. It definitely makes me happy. And we're supposed to have a whole day of rain tomorrow. It's just crazy. We had our septic tank pumped today, and that was overdue. So y'all let me know, any of you that have septic systems. I mean, our septic system, in the back of it, we have 2 septic tanks. One that was put in probably in the mid-60s when Hugh's family first had indoor plumbing, believe it or not. And so that system was there. And then when my mother-in-law built onto the house in about 96, 97, she had another septic system put in the back, and that's the one we had. That's the one that we had pumped today. And I don't think it had been pumped prior to that. So it's been there a long time, y'all. So let me know if you have any opinions on the products like the Ridex. I asked the man that came to pump it today, I asked him if there was a schedule that he recommended for a septic tank the size of ours. We have a large one. And he said about every 5 years, because it just has my little bathroom that I let Hugh use it. He has his own little bathroom that's in the old part of the house. But my little bathroom and the kitchen and the washing machine all go into the new septic tank. I mean, again, like I said, it's 35 years old, so I don't know how new you would consider that. But I'm just curious about those types of products. Because, I mean, certainly I'm not against having it pumped every 5 years. That's not a big deal. It wasn't horribly expensive. But if we can keep it just under control a little bit in the meantime. Let's go over here and I'll show you where the tree fell. Hugh got it all cleaned up. I'm going to keep on cutting my finger on that piece of glass. I probably should take it and put it on something. Now I've got a pocket full of dirt because I stuck it in my pocket. But anyway, he got it all cut. Aaron's going to come and take some of the pieces for some of the projects that he's working on. Some of his bowls and the blanks that he is selling. But it did take out a good portion of the fence. This tank was used down here at this little house years ago as just heating fuel. Hugh's going to take it up to our house to put diesel in for the tractors. And that makes sense because we go after diesel fuel at least once a week. So it would be nice to be able to just have that thing filled up in the middle of summer when diesel fuel is at its least expensive. And have it available when we need it. But this tree, I had mentioned that, I can't remember the name or what type of tree it was. It's a unique tree. And Hugh's daddy had planted it. And Hugh's sister loved it. It had had a big tree fall on it one other time, and it had taken half of the limbs down. And this time it just finished destroying it. Hugh said it can't handle anything else. So he went ahead and cut it down. But the good thing, it's a buckeye. That's what he told me it was. But the good thing is that he said there were 2 buckeyes growing over in the edge of the woods over there. So that will be nice. Those will be able to grow up and be big. And they would have the seed would have came from this buckeye tree, so that's kind of a sentimental thing. But you can see where those trees just took the fence out. Just took the fence out. Yep. But there's so many up in here that really got shaken during Helene. And a lot of those that you see leaning over all the way along the edge of the woods, they need to come down. Hugh, when his knee, and he doesn't have his surgery now until February because of the stroke. But when his knee is fully recovered, he and John, or he and Aaron, will take time to start pulling those trees over and cutting them and cleaning this up a bit. None of these trees, thankfully, none of them are tall enough to reach Chelsea's house, but that's a good thing. But the buckeye, Aaron's going to take some of it and turn some bowls and just see what the wood looks like. He said buckeye is something that he never has used as a bowl before, so he's curious to see what the wood grain looks like. I am too. But you can see the colors changing. I think it's going to be kind of a somber year. As the colors changing, it's just kind of, this down here has been mowed all summer, but it hasn't been weed eated. Nobody has had the time to do anything extra. But she has a nice big yard. It's a beautiful yard, and it's fenced all the way around. So I don't know if Hugh is going to repair that section of fence. I kind of think he might, because it is nice to have, a fenced-in yard. Keep critters out. But the trees, as they're changing, they're just kind of really somber. And for me, as an artist, that's actually perfect, because I love to paint from a photograph, and I love the photograph to be as close to the final, to look as close to the final painting as possible, because then I don't have to think about it too much. I just replicate. I just mix my color to match. And if you've ever seen a painting where the fall color is just really, really vibrant, depending on where it's hung, sometimes that's just too much. That's just much too much. And it's unnerving almost. But if the colors are soft and more browns and muted yellows and ochre color orange instead of bright orange or ochre color yellows, then it's restful. And that's what I'm always after when I'm painting. I want my paintings to be restful. I love the idea of someone walking into a room, because I paint large, I paint ginormous, and I love the idea of somebody walking into a room and looking at one of those paintings, and especially as crazy as life can be sometimes, especially now, walk in, look at that painting, and your spirit just goes, ah, it's just restful. That makes me happy, y'all. That's what I want my artwork to do. It's just to rest people's spirits. Alright, y'all. I'm going to go in and visit with Chelsea for a little while. We're going to discuss our, I can never remember what it's called, our grant that we're applying for. I hope that we might be chosen, because that would get us moved along so much further this spring than we could possibly ever come up with ourselves. And this is what the tree did. That little greenhouse right there has been used for a lot of little plants, but it's finished. It will never be used for another little plant of any kind, so I want to rescue the metal shelves out of there if they're not bent all to pieces, and I'll take those up and spray paint them and use them in the basement. You can never have too many shelves. That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it. All right. Hopefully this winter we can catch up on the weed eating, get ahead of it before springtime, because it hurts my heart when everything becomes so grown, and just looks so messy. It's something prior to this year that has never happened for us, because here I always kept everything weed eated, and I love running a weed eater, but this year, yeah, there's just not been time. All right, y'all, love you much. Enjoy my beautiful little patch of cover crop. Yes, I'm sad, I know. Bye-bye.